Imagine waking up under a sky full of stars, with no bedroom, no door, and no private room. The fire beside you is almost dead, and someone quietly adds wood before the cold reaches the children. A baby starts crying near the ashes, while another person laughs softly across the camp. You sit up and see 20 or 30 people already awake around you. Some prepare to hunt, some gather food, and some repair tools beside the fire. Nobody gives orders, but everyone seems to know what survival needs today. Then you notice something that would feel strange in the modern world. The woman beside you is not officially your wife. The man sharpening his spear is not legally someone's husband. There are no rings, certificates, priests, vows, or anniversaries. Marriage, as we understand it today, does not exist yet. And yet people are already loving, raising children, sharing food, and surviving together. If marriage did not always exist, how did humans love before marriage? And who decided who stayed with whom? The answer is older, stranger, and more human than most people expect. Before we continue, subscribe if you enjoy strange stories about history, science, and human nature. Now let us go deep into the world of our hunter-gatherer ancestors. In this world, you do not own a house. Your whole group sleeps close to the same fire. When food becomes scarce, everyone packs what they can carry and starts walking again. Home is not a building. Home is the people walking beside you. Now imagine you notice someone in the group who makes you want to stay close. Maybe you hunted together, gathered food together, or laughed together after dark. You like them, and they seem to like you too. Today you stay near each other. Tomorrow you may still choose the same thing. But nobody stops the group and announces that you are now married. There may be customs, jealousy, affection, heartbreak, and social pressure. But there is no courthouse, written contract, or official marriage institution. That feels almost impossible today, because marriage feels ancient and permanent. But for most of human existence, there were no governments or legal documents defining couples. People loved, stayed together, separated, and built families before anyone wrote marriage laws. Marriage did not make humans start living together. Humans were already living together because survival demanded it. So, if marriage was not required for love, why did it become so important? The answer begins with the most helpless creature in the camp. A small child runs toward you with muddy feet and nearly crashes into your lap. He laughs, escapes your hands, and runs toward someone else. Nobody asks where his mother is. Nobody asks whose job it is to watch him. One woman feeds him, an older man carries him, and another adult cleans his scraped knee. By sunset, he is asleep beside someone completely different. Nobody seems confused, because the child belongs to more than one person. In a dangerous world, children needed a whole circle. A newborn deer can stand quickly, and a baby chimpanzee can cling tightly to its mother. A human baby needs years of food, warmth, protection, teaching, and attention. Human children were often supported by networks of care. Mothers, fathers, grandparents, older siblings, and trusted adults all mattered. Anthropologists call this cooperative breeding, and it may be one reason our species survived so well. Early human life was not built around isolated little families. It was built around groups that shared danger, food, and responsibility. But if people could bond without legal marriage, why did societies invent marriage at all? For a long time, many groups did not need one official answer. Then humanity began to stop walking. Imagine waking up again, but this time nobody is packing to leave. Someone gives you a small bag of seeds, and you press them into the ground. Weeks pass, and green plants begin rising from the soil. For the first time, your group is not only following food, you are growing it. Soon there are huts, fields, animals, stored grain, fences, and tools that stay in one place. This new world creates a new question. When you die, who gets all of this? Suddenly, it matters who your children are and who inherits your land. Something flexible now needs rules. Across different parts of the world, societies created different rules for those questions. Some used ceremonies, some used witnesses, some used religious blessings, and some used written laws. Under the songs, gifts, feasts, and rituals, something practical was happening. Marriage became a way to organize children, property, inheritance, responsibility, and alliances. In many places, marriage was not born mainly as a celebration of romance. It was born as a system for deciding who belonged where. But humans did not invent only one kind of marriage. Different societies created different answers for different worlds. In farming communities, families often arranged marriages to protect land, animals, and future security. The choice was often less about two hearts and more about two households. In parts of the Himalayan region, some communities developed fraternal polyandry. Several brothers could share one wife, so the family land would not be divided into useless pieces. It sounds shocking today, but the reason was often practical survival. In other societies, powerful men practiced polygyny because wealth made many alliances possible. More wives could mean more children, more workers, and more political influence. Meanwhile, ordinary people often had far fewer choices. Some marriages ended wars, some united kingdoms, and some were arranged before children understood them. In some cultures, husbands moved to their wives' families, while in others, wives moved away. Some exchanged gifts, some exchanged livestock, and some required years of service. The ceremony changed, the rules changed, and the meaning changed. People were trying to build stable societies. Here is the part almost nobody expects. Love is ancient, but romantic marriage is not. People have written poems, sung songs, lost sleep, broken rules, and risked everything for love. Marriage was often about property, duty, alliances, inheritance, and social order. Love was sometimes present, sometimes hoped for, sometimes discovered later, and sometimes missing. Only in recent centuries did romantic choice become the main ideal in many parts of the world. Today, that feels timeless, but historically, it is a newer chapter. So if marriage changed again and again, what actually stayed the same? It was not the ring, the ceremony, the contract, or the law. It was belonging. Humans needed to bond, care, raise children, share danger, and not face darkness alone. Long before humans invented marriage, humans invented connection. Marriage was only one of the many shapes that connection eventually took. So the next time you see a wedding ring or two people promising forever, remember this. You are looking at something that changed, as human life changed. But underneath it is something much older than law, property, or ritual. It is the oldest human question of all. Who will stay beside me when the fire starts to go out?